The SU basketball team will take the court for their season opener on November 13th. And while they'll be without former head coach Josh Merkel, as of late, the Gulls will also be without one of their key players from last season's successes.
Now, tonight's matchup is between Japan and the United States, a rematch of the 2011 World Cup. And in that game, Japan got the best of the U.S. in PKs. And it was a heartbreaker for fans across America, including myself. So for me and for the U.S., this is a huge game and a must-win.
Now, the Ravens take the field tomorrow night for some Monday Night Football action against the Browns, who are having troubles of their own on offense, but not anything nearly compares to the injury-plagued Ravens, who lost Joe Flacco last week to a torn ACL and MCL. Now all eyes are on Matt Schaub to get the job done. This past June, the Golden State Warriors broke a 40-year dry spell without an NBA championship title. Now this young squad has given Bay Area fans even more to celebrate. With last night's 118-105 win over the Nuggets, the Warriors are now 15-0 on the season and just one win away from the best start in NBA history. Max Scherzer threw his second no-hitter in Saturday's 2-0 win over the Mets, becoming just the sixth pitcher in MLB history to do so, and he was just one strikeout shy of the league's single-game strikeout record. Perhaps the best part of the night came when Scherzer learned he was just the second pitcher to have 17 strikeouts and a no-hitter in MLB history. The other pitcher, Nolan Ryan, back in 1973. And while Jonathan Papelbon's former team is making top plays while he is in the not top 10, Bryce Harper and Papelbon get into an argument, and you can see here the verbal altercation became physical quickly as Papelbon put his hands around Harper's neck. Both have commented, saying that this was more of a, quote, brotherly fight.
Tonight is a big game for the O's. They've got a half-game lead in first place over the Yankees, who have the night off, so a win tonight would be crucial. They've got Kevin Gausman on the mound, but the Rangers are not going to make it easy. Yovani Gallardo is taking the mound for the Rangers. He gave up 2 runs in the entire month of June, so like I said, a win tonight would be huge, but it will not be easy. We will have highlights of this game and more coming up at 10 and 11. Back to you guys.
In fact, Manfred said in a statement that he felt that he needs to start from the bottom of this investigation and then continue to move on forward from there. But he did open a door for Rose, saying that he doesn't think someone banned from baseball should necessarily be banned from the Hall of Fame. Very interesting. Now, Rose is MLB's all-time leader in hits, and yet because of his betting on baseball, the 74-year-old will not be seeing Cooperstown anytime soon. After 2 decades and 5 NBA championships, an NBA MVP, 17 All-Star selections, 2 Olympic gold medals, and more than 32,000 points, Kobe Bryant has clearly left an imprint on the world of sports forever. The Sixers will host Bryant and the Lakers tomorrow night at home, looking to avoid the worst start in NBA history after tying the record last night against the Grizzlies. Now, can the Sixers get their first win of the season against the Lakers? We'll find out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And staying with basketball, it is a somber day for the NBA community as Timberwolves head coach Flip Saunders has passed away at 60 years old. Saunders was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma back in June, but he had some setbacks following his chemotherapy treatment in September. Saunders tallied more than 1,000 wins and was one of 10 head coaches in NBA history to reach both the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. And taking it indoors as the NBA Finals continued, reports everywhere were canceling out the Cavs winning the title after the news about the loss of Kyrie Irving. But tonight, none of that mattered. In fact, LeBron's back may be hurting because he carried his team, notching a triple-double, 38 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists. Today, LeBron James announced he's opting out of his contract, but the Cavs do remain the front runner to re-sign the King. Now, another player that we've been talking about is the truth. Paul Pierce has opted out of his contract with the Wiz.
Did you call bank? I called game.
He walked off the court in D.C. then, and he is potentially leaving that court for good. But nobody's certain, and when I say nobody, I mean I don't even think Pierce has a clue where he'll go yet. But reports do say that he is looking to play at least one more season. Now, the Wizards are still on the table, but so are the Clippers, where he'd be reunited with former coach Doc Rivers. Now, Wiz fans, I'm going to be honest, I'd get ready to see the truth pack his bags and head out west, but again, we will have to wait and see come July. This Saturday at Salisbury University, the 2015 football team ensured that they will never be forgotten after breaking 3 separate records in their win over Southern Virginia University. SU scored 91 points from 13 touchdowns, winning by 84 points all, which marked the most in program history. All of this offense, though, was produced by just 2 pass completions. I'll let you think about that for just a second. Speaking of undefeated teams, through week 6, there were 6 teams undefeated for the first time ever in NFL history. Now in week 9, there are only 3 teams standing with perfect records, with the Colts pulling some magic on the field today. The Broncos lost their first game of the season, leaving the Bengals, Patriots, and Panthers without losses so far. So the most impressive win for me, staying undefeated this week, would have to be the Carolina Panthers, who beat the Packers today. Say what you want, folks, but these Panthers are definitely making a statement. This is a very special moment here. Now, it may seem like any ordinary play and something common that we've seen in this guy's career, Eric Berry. However, this is Berry's first interception since he returned to the field after taking down cancer this past off-season. On August 15th, my play of the day was Berry's emotional return to the game, so it was only right to make his first interception our play of the day. Now he is celebrating out there, as he absolutely should. Just throwing it out there, though, the Chiefs went on to score their first touchdown of the game following this big play, and his teammates even said after the game that this interception sparked their win in yesterday's game. And David, this is only their 2nd win of the season.
Yes.
So that
glad it
speaks
came against
volumes.
the Steelers.
I know it did.
But
with this injury, it stops Flacco's 122-game streak of consecutive starts, which is the 5th longest streak amongst quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, if this injury wasn't enough for the Ravens to handle, Baltimore also announced that running back Justin Forsett will also miss the remainder of the 2015 season after suffering a broken right arm against the Rams on 3-7. Well, let me help you out here. I just covered Joe Flacco with the torn ACL and MCL. Then you have Justin Forsett with the broken arm. But then the Ravens also have #1 wide receiver Steve Smith Sr., who's out with the torn Achilles, another torn Achilles injury from Terrell Suggs, then a first-round draft pick out. Brashad Perriman has been out all season long with a knee injury, and Jeremy Zuta is also out with a shoulder sprain as well. Redskins and Eagles went head-to-head this afternoon for a big NFC showdown as both teams look to notch their first division win of the season. Second quarter, Kirk Cousins tries to sneak it in, and he loses the ball only to recover it in the end zone for a touchdown. The Skins take a 13-zip lead. Third quarter, same score. The Eagles decided to wake up out of their first half hibernation. Sam Bradford goes deep to Riley Cooper for a 62-yard touchdown. Later in the third, Bradford under pressure. He avoids the sack. And welcome to the show, Brent Selleck with the equalizer for the Birds. Fourth quarter now, in Bradford with a 39-yard dime to Miles Austin. Haven't heard his name in a while. Well, this is his first touchdown of the year, his 3rd touchdown since 2012. The Eagles take the lead then with 27 seconds left. Cousins finds Pierre Garçon in some traffic, but they would hold on there for the go-ahead touchdown. Then with time running out, the Eagles trying to run Cal Berkeley's version of the play, but Stanford grad Trent Murphy decides to end it this time. Unlike the card back in 1982, his interception seals the 23-20 victory for the Skins. Now let's take a look at some of the Eagles stats. Sam Bradford completed 15 of 28 passes for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he was sacked 5 times. This O-line is not doing anything for their quarterback. It's killing me. Now, their rushing is also where the Eagles struggled. They had 18 carries between DeMarco Murray, Ryan Matthews, Darren Sproles, and Sam Bradford for 87 yards and no touchdowns. Their second half push, they scored 3 in the second half, but it just was not enough, and that was because the Redskins finished it out. Kirk Cousins completed 31 of his 46 passes for 290 yards and 1 touchdown. Their rushing, though, was not too bad either. They had 32 carries for 127 yards and a touchdown, but perhaps the biggest difference out there was time of possession. The Redskins were in control of the ball for 41 minutes and 18 seconds. That was the highest amount of minutes the Skins team has seen in the last 25 years. So this is a huge, huge victory for the Redskins. And the Women's World Cup final is tomorrow. I cannot wait for this matchup between the U.S. and Japan. We'll have a very special guest on our show tonight, and no, she will not be in that sports bra, but find out who coming up later. For the first time in 16 years, the world witnessed the U.S. women's national team hoist the trophy on the biggest stage of soccer. Team USA won its 3rd World Cup in a historical manner. Megan Rapinoe on the corner here, and she will strike one on the ground. The Stars align, and Carly Lloyd puts away her first goal of the game in just the 3rd minute. USA off to a great start. Then Lauren Holiday on the free kick outside the 18. Great flick by Julie Johnston there, and it's like she's a magnet. Lloyd finds the back of the net for her 2nd time in just 5 minutes. USA would be up 3-0, and Lloyd from the center circle, she sees the keeper off her line and punishes her for it. An absolutely beautiful goal for the first hat trick in the Women's World Cup Finals history. Now the U.S. would take down Japan for the title 5-2, and a very special moment coming up as captains Abby Wambach and Christy Rampone hoist the trophy with their team in their last ever World Cup. Speaking of division leaders, the first place Nats were on the road in Philadelphia, taking on the last place Phils in a doubleheader as well. 2nd inning, Steven Strasburg on the mound and gives up a home run to Jeff Francoeur, a solo shot to left field. The Phils take a 1-0 lead, but Strasburg cranks up the heat, striking out the side in the 5th inning. He'd finished the game with 9 strikeouts over 7 innings. And to the 6th inning we go, tied up at 1 here. Runners would be on 1st and 2nd when Michael Taylor sends one into left field for an RBI double. Clint Robinson is going to come in for the go-ahead run, and the Nats hold on for the Game 1 win, 3-2 the final. And the last place Phils, I guess, were just apparently sick of losing, and they took over in Game 2, scoring 4 runs in the 2nd inning. They'd hold on to that lead with an 8-5 win over the Nats. Now the O's came out hungry to steal the first place after both the Rays and the Yankees lost today, and they did that with ease as they jumped out to an early 8-0 lead. That would be the final in the 2nd game there. The O's are looking good with All-Star break just around the corner. And our play of the day will go to my San Francisco Giants. Now the Nats looking to take the lead here. Ian Desmond lines one up the middle, and look at Joey Panik making the grab right there to rob Desmond of a hit. Check out the replay. He is 24 years old, and this is just his 2nd year playing with the Giants. And I mean, we're not having a great season out in San Francisco.
I'm glad
we
you
got
said it.
swept.
Yeah.
We got swept yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and say it, but I'll take the play of the day.
The Eagles, they played on Thanksgiving. Everybody thought they had a chance, but they didn't.
It was quite a Thanksgiving for Eagles fans everywhere. Even the players themselves, I know, had a tough Thanksgiving, but it was just very tough for everybody to watch, honestly, for us at home as well. But instead of trying to focus on them and what they need to do, we're going to focus on your Giants today. Her face might say it all, and the Redskins.
Orioles for me.
Go Orioles!